Hi Rainbow Loomers! It's Michelle from Rainbow Loom, and today we'll be learning how to make this frog charm created by the Rainbow Loom design team. We will be using the Rainbow Loom 360 to make this. There are a couple versions of the 360 kit, and this frog is in one version of the instructions, but we think this design is super cute and we want to share it with everyone. Plus, this frog matches our Frankie the Frog Loomy Groomy project kit, which is one of our new lines in 2026. And lastly, if you enjoy Rainbow Loom, then please leave a like and subscribe for more videos. Now let's go over the materials that I will be using. Here I have the Michaels exclusive version of the Rainbow Loom 360 kit. It comes with the 360 loom, pegs, you will need 39 for this project, a metal hook to loom, a tug tool to remove the pegs and push down the bands, eyes, but you can also use some rubber bands, a slip hook to hide the slip knot at the end, or you can use a bag clip to turn this into a wearable charm, and you will need some bands. I will be using the Rainbow Loom Premium bands in this kit, which are more durable than other bands. You will need 78 to 79 green bands and 28 yellow or white bands. Let's set up our loom by placing on the pegs. You will need 39 pegs, and in a little bit, I will put an image on the screen of what the peg layout should look like. To place on your pegs, just slide the peg into one of the cavities on your loom. If the cavity ever feels a little tight, then you can turn the peg 45 degrees to the left or right. If you misplaced a peg, then use the end of your tug tool to gently rock the peg back and forth until it's loosened from the cavity. On the screen now, you should see the peg layout for this frog charm. Please note the direction that the pegs face as you're placing them on. I will go ahead and place the pegs onto my loom, and I'll be back after to show you what it looks like. I finished placing down all 39 pegs, and this is what my loom looks like now. Once you are finished inserting the pegs into the 360 loom, then we can start working on our frog charm. Also, we will keep our loom in this orientation for this entire process. Now let's get started with placing down the bands. We will first work on the body. Take a single green band and place it going down on the top center of the loom. For the majority of this creation, we will be using double bands, which is where we place 2 bands between the pegs instead of 1. So switch over to double bands in the green color and place them going straight down. Then take another set of double bands, back up, and place them going to the left. Do this 2 more times. While you're placing down the bands, remember to use the other end of the tug tool to push down your bands. This makes room for more bands and also helps you with looming later by isolating groups of bands. Let's go back to placing down the bands now. Do the same thing to the right side. So place 3 sets of double bands going down to the right. Now we will place down a couple columns of vertical double bands, and I will just be placing the green bands for now. Place a set of double bands on the far left. And do the same to the right side. Then on the second column, place down 2 sets of double bands. And do the same to the right side. On the third column, place 2 sets of double bands. Then do the same to the right side. And in the middle, we will just place 1 set of double bands. Now let's switch to our white or pale yellow bands. We will be using double bands here as well, which remember is where we place 2 bands between the pegs. Place 3 sets of double bands in the middle, going down to the bottom of the loom. the columns next to the middle, just place down 2 sets of double bands, going down on each side. Then move to the second column and place down a single set of double bands. Do the same to the right side. I'm going to push down some of these bands really quickly to make room for more. Now we're going to close off the bottom of our frog's body. First, place a set of green double bands on the left, going diagonally down to the center. Do the same on the right side. Switch back to using white double bands, and we will place these going to the bottom center of our loom. Do the same to the right side, using another 2 sets of white double bands. Before we finish off the body, we will place some of the bands that make up our frog's eyes. The eyes use all green bands. The pegs that we will use are these 7 that create a hexagon shape. I'm starting on the bottom middle peg and placing double bands going up to the left. Then, place double bands going straight up. Now we're going to jump to the right side and place a set of double bands going straight up. And then close off the top of the eye using 2 sets of double bands. Do the same to the right side now, but mirrored. You are again using green double bands. And the outer part of my frog's right eye is now complete. From now on, we're going to work with single bands instead of double bands. I'm going to come back to the eyes a little later because they're slightly more tricky. Let's go back to working on the body. At the very bottom of our loom, we will place a triple looped cap band. There are a couple ways to do this, but I like to use the back of my hook. Place a single white band on the back of your hook, then twist it around once, and twist it around one more time. There should be 3 loops of the band on your hook. We will insert the back of our hook into this peg here and slide the triple looped cap band onto the peg. From the side, this is what it looks like when I insert the back of my hook into the peg. I'm using my other hand to slide the cap band down. And this is what it should look like when you're done. Now let's place on our tie bands. We don't directly loom these bands, and they just help to hold our creation together. For the first tie band, I'm using a single white band. We will stretch this band across these 2 pegs. Next, we will use a single green band and kind of do the same thing, but 1 row up and slightly wider. Then, use another single green band and do the same thing 1 row up. You can also slightly stretch out the band if it's a bit tight. We have 1 more tie band left, but we're actually going to do the eyes really quick and then place on our last tie band. If you've ever made the Starburst bracelet before, we will be doing something pretty similar here. The order of your bands matters a lot, so please follow along closely. I will work on the left eye first. The first single band that we will place goes straight up from the center of the eye. And then, we will place the bands in a counterclockwise direction. While you're doing this, try to make sure that the bands, especially on the center peg, are in order and not overlapping each other. So the first band we placed on should be at the bottom of the center peg, and this last band should be at the top of the peg. After adding on these 6 bands, then we will place a triple looped cap band in the center, just like what we did for the bottom of our frog's body. I'm using the back of my hook to help me with this triple looped cap band. Make sure that there are 3 loops of the band, then insert the back of your hook into the center of the eye and slide this band down. It might be hard to see, but at the top of the peg is our triple looped cap band. Now do the same thing to the right eye. The bands will be placed in a counterclockwise direction again. This is the 6th band, and now we will place a triple looped cap band on the center peg. That completes our second eye. Lastly, we have to place on one more tie band. This single green band goes on these pegs. And congrats, now we are done with placing on the bands. Take a second to push down the bands using your tug tool before we continue. Next, we will work on looming our frog charm, so make sure that you have your hook ready. We will work on the eyes first. This will probably be the most tricky part, but after this it's pretty straightforward. If you've made the starburst bracelet before, the eyes will be kind of similar. We will loom the center of the eye in the opposite order that we placed on the bands. The last band we placed on, not counting the cap band, is this one, so we will loom this first. I'm also using my finger to push down some of the bands so that they're not all at the top of the peg. We will loom the band from the center peg outwards, back to its other half. So, slide your hook inside the peg. Pull back on the 3 loops of the cap band, then use your hook to grab the next band on the peg, which should be the one going to the upper right. Bring this band back to itself on the upper right. Now you can see that there's a little teardrop shape created by the band, which is what we want. Let's work on the next band now. We will loom this band from the center peg outwards. So slide your hook into this center peg, pull back on the 3 loops of the cap band, and use your hook to grab the next band on the peg, which should be the one going to the bottom right. Again, you can kind of see this teardrop shape that's formed when we bring the band back to itself. Let's continue looming the other 4 bands of this eye. The next band we will loom from the center peg outwards is this one. This one is a little trickier to loom because you actually have to move your hook to the side in order to bring that band up and over the peg. So slide your hook into the center peg, move your hook to the side, grab the side of the next band, and loom it back to itself. The next band we will loom is this one. Since there's less bands on the center peg, you should find that it's much easier to loom now. Then we will loom this band back to itself. And this is our last band that we're looming in the center. To complete the eye, we have to loom the double bands that go around the eye. Just for this part of the eye, we will turn our loom around to loom these. Start at the top of the eye and slide your hook down the peg past the 2 loops of the band that we've already loomed. Then, grab the 3rd and 4th bands from the bottom using your hook. These should go over to the left. The bands are a little close to the top of the peg, so I'm using the tug tool to push them down. The next set of double bands that we are looming are these double bands, and we will loom them back to themselves straight forward. You can also loom these bands one at a time if it's easier. Now we will loom the other part of the eye back towards the body. So slide your hook back into the peg at the top of the eye and loom the remaining double bands at the bottom of the peg back to themselves. So just pull back on the bands we've already loomed and grab the bottom 2 bands on the peg. Bring them over to the right. Then we will loom this set of double bands, so reach into the peg and grab those double bands at the bottom. Loom them forward. The last set of double bands we will loom for this eye are these. Slide your hook into the peg and loom the bottom 2 bands back to themselves. Turn your loom around and we will work on the right eye now, where we will pretty much do the same thing. The first band we will loom for the center of the eye is this one. Slide your hook into the center peg, pull back on the cap band, and loom the next band back to itself. You can see the teardrop shape that's formed by this band. The next band we will loom is this one. Then we will loom this one. Remember that this one may be a little trickier because you have to move your hook to the side in order to grab this band. The last 3 bands here should be easier to loom, so loom this one, then loom this one, and slide your hook into the center peg one more time for this last band. To loom the outer part of the eye, we will turn our loom around. We will loom the double bands on the right side first because they're laying on top of the double bands on the left. Slide your hook into the peg at the top of the eye and loom the 3rd and 4th bands from the bottom back to their other halves on the right side. Then, loom these double bands straight forward. Return to the top of the eye, and we will loom these 3 sets of double bands back to themselves. They should all be the bottom 2 bands on the peg. Turn your loom back around and we will work on looming the body. We will start looming from the bottom here and make our way up to the top. We will loom starting from this middle peg where our cap band is. There are quite a few bands on this peg, so we're going to find the double bands that are right below the cap band. It should be these double bands going to the right. Let's loom them. Slide your hook into the peg, pull back on the cap band, then grab the double bands right below and loom them back to themselves. You can see that we have this nice teardrop shape here. Let's continue looming the right side and loom these 2 sets of double bands back to themselves. They should be the 3rd and 4th bands from the bottom of the peg. Then loom these 2 green bands. Now do the same to the left side, starting at the cap band again. These should all be the 3rd and 4th bands from the bottom of the peg. This last one should be easier to see because you're looming the green bands. Now we're going to loom most of these vertical double bands. except I'm going to leave these side vertical bands alone for now, and we will also ignore the double bands in the middle here. Remember to use your tug tool to push down the bands, especially in areas where there are a lot of bands. Okay, let's get started. Slide your hook into a peg at the bottom of the frog, and you will just be looming the bottom 2 bands on the pegs. Then I'm moving to this column and doing the same thing all the way up. Then I'm looming this column of bands forward. But remember, we will leave this last set of double bands to do later. So ignore this set of double bands for now. Remember to ignore this last set of double bands. Then I'm doing the same to the right side. When you're done, we will loom these 4 sets of double bands that go to the top center of our frog. So slide your hook into the peg and loom the bottom 2 bands back to themselves until you get to the top. There are a lot of bands in this area, so remember to use your tug tool and go slow. It's harder to see here, but there is a little teardrop shape, which means I've loomed the correct bands back to themselves. I've loomed this last set of double bands on the right, and now we're going to do the same thing to the left side. I'm at the top again, and I'm using the tug tool to push down these bands. We will loom this last set of double bands forward. And then we will loom this last single band forward. This band is actually going to be our slip knot, so after looming it, turn your loom to the side. There are 2 loops on the peg, and you will grab the bottom one and lift it off the peg. Then, grab the remaining loop on the peg and pull tight to secure the slip knot. Now we can remove our creation from the loom. I'm using my hook to help me. Make sure that you hold onto the slip knot because sometimes it can get undone when we remove our creation. If you just want to hide the slip knot into your creation now, then to make your creation more secure, you can add another slip knot. So put the existing slip knot onto your hook, then pull another band through the slip knot. Put the other side of the band onto your hook, and slide the loop closest to the tip of your hook under the other loop. Pull tight to secure. If the bands are a little bunched up, you can massage them to help your frog lay more flat. Then if you want to hide your slip knot into your creation, just place the slip knot onto your slip hook and slide your slip hook into your creation until the slip knot is hidden. Lastly, I'm going to attach the eye pieces into our frog. You can just push the eyes into the area where our triple looped cap band is. And then your frog is complete. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial on how to create this Rainbow Loom 360 frog created by the Rainbow Loom design team. If you make this, please tag us at official_Rainbow Loom and use the hashtag Rainbow Loom so that we can see your creations on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We also host weekly giveaways on our Instagram called our Loom Star of the Week contest, where you can win some fun prizes, so be sure to follow us there. In the description box below, you can find where to purchase your own Rainbow Loom products. We have so many kits available and there's honestly something for everyone. We are also selling some Rainbow Loom products on our TikTok shop, so if you're in the US, check out our store, which has some exclusive bundles and deals that you can't find anywhere else. And again, thanks for watching this tutorial and I'll see you in the next one.